All right, coming up next, it is a welterweight showdown between Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman. All right, so here he is, the Nigerian Nightmare, and you can also now call him the UFC welterweight champion. He had to go 10-0 in the UFC to finally realize that UFC belt, beat Tyron Woodley, and establish himself as the standard at 170 pounds.
And he never lost track of what was out in front of him. Even though he had to win 10 fights, Kamaru Usman understood that he would do whatever it took to become UFC champion, and when he got that opportunity, it was the wrestling, the cardio, and the ability to follow the game plan set out in front of him by Henry Hooft and Greg Jones that allowed him to blank Tyron Woodley on the scorecards and win that welterweight championship. Unbelievable performance by Usman.
Truly one of the hardest workers in the game, and if you watch that Woodley fight, you get the sense that it is going to take a Herculean effort for somebody to dethrone the new hunted at 170 pounds, Kamaru Usman. Colby Covington maintains status as one of the best welterweights in the world.
He is absolutely one of the best welterweights in the world. And a lot of times people mistake the talk and the persona for Colby not being able to be a fighter. Colby Covington is a fantastic fighter, and he will get in your face from the moment the official, or the moment the referee says fight, and the pace, and the cardio, and the work rate that he will push on his opponents is enough to break guys. Guys that are traditionally known as phenomenal cardio fighters like Rafael dos Anjos melt under Colby Covington. He is a great fighter and a very, very hard worker.
Our tale of the tape for this highly anticipated welterweight fight. So these fighters are just a year apart with similar height and some differences in reach. All right, we send it inside the octagon to the veteran voice, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a wrestler, holding a professional record of 17 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a wrestler holding a professional record of 15 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Colby Chaos Covington. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our third man in the octagon for this one.
Ready. Ready, fight.
All right, so here we go with round 1, grappler versus grappler. This was probably the wrong week for me to skip combat sambo class, but what are your expectations for this one?
I expect these guys to come together, man. I expect them to come together, and we're going to see some fantastic throws, and not only just fantastic throws, but just jockeying for position. Even though it may not look that these guys are doing much, the little details in the underhooks, in the clinches, in the foot position, head position, is going to be very interesting to watch.
Oh, nice connection with that punch. It's one thing to have an edge and reach. It's another to take advantage. Nicely done. Well, if you like Muay Thai striking, this might be your moment in this fight as he gets the Thai punch.
This is a massive moment for this fighter. He is a great Muay Thai fighter. Look for him to go knee, and then try to land a big one to the head.
Changes his stance. Hey, finally gets the takedown. It wasn't for any lack of effort, but finally that shot was good enough to get his opponent down.
I don't know how many times, John, I could have watched this guy shoot takedown attempts without securing one. It's almost like out of pity. You feel good for him to finally get it done. Now what does he do with this top control?
All right, trying to pass here. As Glover Teixeira might say, not today.
Not today. Great job of following with the hips, keeping those legs locked and keeping them in full guard.
Lands the grounded pound strike here. Oh, his opponent squirming like a fish out of water now. The ground and pound is on point. This could very well be the beginning of the end.
This could be the beginning of the end. We've seen some really good ground and pound fighters. This young man is as good as any we've ever seen. He is doing a really good job of relaxing, not panicking because he's getting choked.
Right into side control. Upper body strength figures to be put to good use here.
Yes, absolutely. And you got to look for his opponent to turn back into him. He should chase guillotine, but the opponent turns to the opposite side. He can take his back, throw his hooks in, try to choke, or flatten him out and just go for the finish. And now he has a headlock trying to pin his opponent's back down flat onto the mat. Look from the transition to an arm triangle to try to chase the finish. Push the arm to the side, get his head against the mat. Now watch as he goes to the finish. Watch his chest.
And this might just be a matter of time. And that will do it.
Holy smokes.
Right, I mean, how do you not admire the focus of this young fighter? You could tell he was looking for that submission much earlier in the round, but he didn't want to rush it. He stayed patient, let the setup do its thing, and ultimately the submission materializes organically late in the round. High-level stuff out of that young fighter here tonight. All right, so a wild round and a wild sequence there on the ground. DC, talk us through the highlight.
He's such a phenomenal grappler. I don't understand how people don't know that this guy wants to submit you. He is the best grappler, best submission specialist we've seen in a long time.
So there he is, your winner by submission, and that's exactly how you put the rest of this division on notice. Looks like this guy could be a factor moving forward in this division.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 43 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by tap out, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman.
All right, so what a performance by this young man here tonight as he gets the win by way of submission. He certainly put a lot of stock into getting the finish tonight, and he did just that. Congratulations.
It was a very tough fight, but he knew that if he did everything right, he can get to his position, which is the ground, and he would be able to find a finish by submission tonight. He did just that.